Welcome back to the Overheard Podcast, recorded live in Banff. My name is Daniel Ruedl. With me always is my co-host,
Matty Rage. Let's go.
Let's go. If it's your first time joining us, please don't be shy to give us a little like and subscribe. We check the analytics every week. It's up to like 83% first-time viewers don't subscribe. So please, if that's you, don't be shy. Smash the subscribe. Hit the little bell so you'll know when we drop you new episodes every single week. Our guest this week, Jaden Connors. How's the day going?
Good, brother. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for making the trip down. I didn't realize that you were making such an effort to be here with us today.
No, of course. You got to make the most out of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dude, I really, really appreciate it. Before we get too far into things, this episode is brought to you by Drink Shaft. We're going to cut to our ad. We'll be back with you in 30 seconds.
Winter in Banff hits different. Cold air, frozen mornings, and that brief stillness before the day kicks off. Fuel your early starts with Drink Shaft, the non-alcoholic, all-natural espresso energy drink made for mountain days and the longer ones around the house or the office. Find Drink Shaft in over 1,000 stores across Western Canada. Grab one before you head out on your next adventure. Remember that seasons change, but Drink Shaft, it always stays the same.
We're back, baby.
We are back. Thank you so much for joining us. Big thank you to Drink Shaft, as always. Welcome back to the show. Let's get right into it. If you haven't met Jaden Connors is the founder of Hangtime Flea, a vintage streetwear market based in Calgary and the Bow Valley that brings together collectors, brands, and vendors from across Canada. Focused on sustainable living and outdoor heritage, Hangtime has grown into community-driven event series celebrating sustainable culture. Jaden has been a Banff local for the past 3 years and is also a member of the Sunshine Village Trail Crew. Thank you so much for that, man.
Yeah.
You're farming that snow for us. We appreciate that.
Shout out Mountain Ops.
Yeah, big shout out. He's been farming snow up there for the past 6 seasons, summer and winter. Spends his time growing the vintage community and the scene in Alberta all at once. Thank you so much for taking time for us today. He's actually on his lunch break today from snow farming, so quite the action-packed day for you, brother.
Can't complain. It's a great day out there. Beautiful. Sun's out, so happy to be here.
Fresh snow, and the wind's been whipping it around for us.
Yeah, were they closed that Sunday? They were all closed up. It's like someone said it was like 100K gusts up there or something.
Okay, Sunday I got the biggest stroke of luck. Had no idea there was wind delays. I kind of had a late night at work, so I wasn't rushing there. I pull up around 11:45, 12, and the parking lot's parked so weird. I'm like, what's going on? Like, something's weird.
Yeah.
So I pull up, get front row parking at 12 o'clock on Sunday.
Wow.
Doesn't happen.
That's a bonus.
Walk up, and the lifty was like, yeah, they just opened it up. It's been closed for wind delays all morning. So I go up, take the gondola up. Obviously, TP's not running. The high wind chairs are not running. Get to Standish just as they're opening it up for the day. And I'm asking people in line, like, what's been going on?
Yeah.
Like, we've been waiting since 8 a.m.
Oh, like waiting for like 4 hours.
Yeah. So I just magically got there at the perfect time. They opened up Standish, ripped POW, did a couple back doors, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah. It's a blessing in disguise because with the fences that we work with on Trail Crew, you tend to get a lot more wind gusts, a lot more whales, start loading the runs. So then, like I would imagine a lot of viewers would have skied those lines right beside a fence and, catch a good face shot simply because that fence is there, and that's kind of mainly what we do. So when it comes to like those hard winds, we kind of look forward to it, but it's a pretty hard job at the end of the day.
Yo, for sure. Yeah. I've seen you guys lugging those like miles and miles of fences, especially up Goatside. Like that's some tough work.
My roommate said he went and got a couple of runs on Goatside there on Sunday. I was like, were you just like skiing on a 45, like just lean back into the wind, like that whole top section, like as soon as you get off the lift, like just to get down to the traverse is like.
As soon as you cut the corner too, like the wind just hits you straight in the face.
It's like right in the face. You're just kind of leaning into it.
Yeah. As long as you can see, like those wind lips that form on those fences are so fun to ride, especially when they're like spaced perfectly, gap one into the other.
It's got to be good viz though. If it's not good viz, you better look out.
Yeah, you can get hurt pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of tomahawks on Angel, just like, oh, sick POW day. You can't, like, I couldn't even see from me to you away. Just like
straight under the lift line.
Catch a nose and just bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
Well, it really depends. Like, I guess on how the fences are put in, how that snow is shaped on the other side.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's just like an abrupt, but again, there's nothing you can do. It's just the way it works. But
like sometimes you'll see all the bamboo broken and it's just simply because of those 120-kilometer-hour winds at night.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So-
just wild.
Anyways, big shout out. Before we get into the business side of things, let's start at the beginning. When you were young, what were you into? Were you into sports, fashion, music, collecting? Like, what got you to this point
Yeah,
today?
well, love music. Music's a big one for sure. But when it comes to, I guess, right out of high school, I was an electrician for
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit. I was an iron worker, and then I got laid off for COVID.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, I just found myself at Value Village all day, every day, because it was an essential spot. Like you needed it during COVID.
Right.
Cool.
So like, it was always open.
Yeah.
I could always go there 9 o'clock in the morning, wait in line, get some good stuff. You know.
I mean, I guess it would be less busy during COVID too because all the restrictions. You probably find better stuff. You think
Yeah,
back then?
I
or-
mean, back then, I would say it's kind of this. Oh no, it was definitely more busy back then, just simply because no one had anything to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like you'd have a bunch of homies in line looking for records, looking for record players, looking for books. So it's just like a whole line of resellers just waiting for Value Village to open.
Yeah.
And then out of that whole line, it would only be like 2 or 3 people. And mind you, this line is like going and turning the corner down the,
Like wrapping
down
around
the
the
road.
building.
and for people who don't know, Value Village is like a thrift shop, basically. So it's where you get like the cheaper clothes. And yeah, back then it was a whole lot different than what it is now because the environment's a lot more oversaturated with people trying to do it. So
Yeah.
after COVID stopped, it really blew up over social media. So
Fair.
with that, I kind of tried to take advantage with Hangtime. So
Nice.
that was around 2022. So
Nice. Was there a moment when fashion or streetwear kind of caught your eye and you kind of decided that was what you wanted to be into?
well, there is a point in time where I was just thrifting for myself in high school, and this was kind of the beginning of it all.
Nice.
I found a load of Harley Davidson shirts.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
And this was like before I knew that there was kind of like a resale value on something like this. You know, each shirt was probably like $5 to maybe $10 each. Bought them all, thinking I'm going to wear them all. I was going to take them home and tie dye them and bleach them and
Oh,
just
cool.
like, you know, like just. And then the first one I wore wore it to school. Next day, had it wrapped up, selling it to a girl because I told her about the story. She was like, I'll buy it off you right now. So then after that, I kind of realized that there was like a market for it. And then, yeah, after that, I just kind of started bleaching clothes. And then,
Nice.
and then after time, it just kind of folded out to just clothes.
Very
Nice.
cool. So you had people just literally buying the shirt off your back.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to find out it's going to work, you know?
Yeah, if once you're in an industry like that, it's pretty common. And then even for me to like, I'll be with some of my close friends, and I'll see a piece like, let's say we're out for beers, and like an old guy would walk in, and I'll be like, that shirt's $1,000, and I'll have to go up to him and be like, hey, dude, just letting you know, like you're wearing a shirt that's like could be sold on eBay right now for $1,000.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
and
like I used to have this regular customer at the liquor store, and he came in with like it had to have been like a 1991, 92 like Red Wings starter jacket pullover.
yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, you know how much money that's worth right
Yeah.
now? Like an OG starter jacket.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like when I first started, that was my original. Like that was what I would say I would collect was starter jackets.
Starter jackets.
Yeah,
What,
like pro lines, chalk lines, like all the sports jackets.
what is it that takes a piece from just a regular old piece to something that's so sought after? Like, what is that?
That's
it-
so many different answers.
Yeah, like-
you know, honestly, there's so many pieces just in my closet that no one would even bat an eye at, and I will never sell. You know, so and I feel like that goes for a lot of people in a lot of different categories. Like for example, I have friends who will go into abandoned buildings all over Alberta, like barns and mines and stuff, and try their best to find even just fabrics, not even full pieces of clothing, because it's from the later 1800s.
Oh, like
and
the old
stuff.
Levi's and stuff,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you'll find like old GWG one pieces in a mine in BC, and you'll sell them to someone in Japan for like 120 USD a piece, and you find like 12 of them.
Wild.
You know, or like even like an abandoned building. So like all the resellers call them bandos.
Yeah.
So then you'll just walk through all these abandoned buildings that have like, mind you, this is like not allowed, so don't go and do this.
Yeah, it's a pretty extreme way to source products.
Or like if you have someone telling you that you're allowed to be there.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like you'll be able to find, like I have found, not even kidding, like Arc'teryx AR jackets in like hoarder houses.
Wow.
That they've just let me take.
Crazy.
Yeah, just sitting there. And it's like, you never know what you'll be able to find when it comes to that stuff.
Right.
So
What are you looking for? Are there signs when you're, say, walking up to a bando or to like a pick that you...
Like an old house.
Yeah.
It's just got to be really old. The person has to like, you know, be willing to just give you everything that you ask for and not try and search things up online, you know. Like it'd be so good if you were to find someone who would have like 5 or 15 starter jackets.
Oh, yeah.
And be like, yeah, I'll have $5 each. Like back when COVID was happening, it'd be so easy to find that.
It's true. People were cleaning and getting rid of all their stuff.
So
like,
now
man.
it's not like that anymore. And then you have all these people who are you know, like really on TikTok showing it, and then everyone wants to do it, right? So like it's a little bit more difficult, but like the community just gets stronger and stronger. So that's why it's key to try and just like be one step ahead. And back in 2022, I was lucky enough to start Hangtime.
Yeah.
So then I did that, and then I was able to like, you know, put people in a position to make money while, you know, still putting out as much as I can.
And that's kind of what caught my eye about Hangtime, is that you're not only in it for yourself, but you're letting other people kind of get in on it. And then there's the community aspect with it's a party there too. It's not just like shopping. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. As shopping moves more online, like this in-person shopping is very much a dying breed, right?
It's very sought after for sure. A lot of people just simply look for that connection of just going out with their friends and being like, hey, there's this event, we could get some clothes. Who knows what'll be around, you know? So it's good to just have a few at Rose, like great people there, and it's just a great time, regardless if you're buying clothes or not from the community.
For sure.
Yeah.
What is it about vintage pieces that speak to people a little differently than, say, you know, go buy a brand new Arc'teryx jacket? Like, why vintage?
Like, it's just such a hard question to answer, because so many of my vendors are in it for so many different reasons.
Okay.
You know, like I said, back when I first started, I was really in it for the sports jackets. But now I'd say I'm more in it for like winter wear, you know, like stuff to be worn on the mountain, stuff like that. But even like t-shirts, so like it really fluctuates, you know, and you, as like a reseller, regardless if you're like really passionate for one category, you kind of have to be all over the place.
Right.
You know, like
a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like you can always have your personal collection, but at the end of the day, you always have to be able to adapt.
Right.
Like I've done summers where my top sales were in mini skirts.
Crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just
you
like,
gotta have them too,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It's just like you always have to be able to adapt, and that doesn't just go for you know, like clothing vendors. It's also very strong for it goes for people who do handmade goods, jewelry,
For sure.
you know, like
Yep.
cameras, all that stuff. Like you always
yeah.
have to be able to adapt to know what people want.
You can always put out a product that you like, but other people have to like it in order to purchase it, right?
Yeah.
So like adapting your taste to that is...
And it doesn't mean that you don't always have to include what you're passionate for. Like you can always have a section of your booth that like is something that you'll never just give up, you know. But if you want to do it full time, like you have to be able to dabble in certain places that, you know, you're not comfortable with.
For sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I think back to what makes a vintage piece kind of so special. I think when I'm thinking about pieces that I have, it's the scarcity of it, right? Like, you know that if you're going to buy a piece that was discontinued maybe 20 years ago, you're not going to bump into someone walking around, or chances are very low that you're going to have someone walking around in the same piece, right? So
exactly.
I think as you get into streetwear and like high fashion, scarcity is that big, I think, point that drives the price and drives that.
Yeah, that one of one factor.
100%. Like I got this one like cowboy print, like this cowboy shirt that I'll never get rid of because I don't think I'll ever find one like it.
No, it's so true. Thrifting in Calgary, you always got to be looking out for Stampede gear.
For sure.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's like you're always looking for that, like you said, that cowboy shirt or whatever. And I've found so many graphics of just like cowboys in the sunset on their horse, and it just looks so sick. And they're never the same.
Yeah.
You never find the same one,
true.
but you always find them.
So dope.
So if you're looking for Stampede gear, just March 23rd.
Come holla. Let's talk about why you moved to the mountains in the first place. Obviously, skiing, big part of your life.
Yeah, that's a great story. So my cousin Jacob and I were obsessed with, just coming out here, backcountry, sunshine, all that jazz. So neither of us had a vehicle, so we would always rent this guy's truck off of Turo at the time, and he became a close friend, so he actually just started hooking it up for us. So we were just always out here. And then one day we were with some friends, because I'm originally from Nova Scotia. Cool. So we were with some people who were from Nova Scotia, showing them around and stuff. And then I forgot my shoes in the village of Sunshine, and we're at the base, and I'm like, crap, like, do we either drive back or no? It was because the gondola was closed. So it was either I go back, get my shoes, or I just leave them up there and I go with these guys to a house party in Banff. and stay with them, and then just go to Sunshine the next day, grab my shoes. So that's what the plan was, because the gondola was going to close. So then the gondola closed, went with these guys that we kind of knew from Nova Scotia, and then turned out the house party we were at was just a bunch of guys from Trail Crew.
Okay.
And I've been trying my hardest ever since high school to get a job on Trail Crew, and the tiny odds of me being at this house party just landed me a job and a place.
Right place, right time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like if I chose to go up and grab my shoes, I honest to God probably wouldn't even be sitting here right now.
That's a crazy story, man.
Yeah, it gets me every time. It's like it's just so many small things happened that just led to this one thing that kind of just made me drop everything and head to the valley. And like realistically, I was just like, man, like I have hang time. I can do what I can do out there. And luckily enough, like Pete and, the crew at Rose and Crown hooked it up, and I was lucky enough to get my foot in the door. So
big shout out.
Yeah, like huge. So it's been a blessing ever since, honestly.
Nice, man.
Crazy.
What made you stick around? Like obviously Bow Valley, not the easiest place to make it.
Yeah, well, definitely just Trail Crew.
Trail Crew, yeah.
Like honest to God, it was just being so passionate for Trail Crew, like over the years. Being there like through the summer and winter, it was just like a lot, and it was something that I just couldn't like give up.
For sure.
Like even today, I'm like driving out from Calgary just to be there with the crew, and it's just like it's a lot. Don't get me wrong, but like I wouldn't have it any other way for sure.
That's so sick.
Yeah, like it's
what's
a
your
good
favorite
life.
part of it? Like the camaraderie, because it seems like the crew is pretty.
Honestly, just watching everyone adapt to, and to the people who they become once they leave or the summertime comes around. Like it's crazy watching a crew that, you don't know so much about and just connect and just become this thing that's just like a lot more than you would ever think.
Absolutely.
And it just happens over and over and over again every year.
No doubt.
So it's just like, it's pretty crazy to be a part of, and it's like something that's really, really hard to separate from.
For sure.
Yeah, like clearly I'm driving back every day for it.
On that note, how you've been here 3 years now, how has that kind of shaped your personality into, or has it changed your personality at all?
Like I would say it's definitely changed a few things. The one thing that the Valley has taught me is that, like friendships will always be there regardless if, like their time comes to an end when it comes to living in the Valley.
For sure.
So like I tend to grow like really close to people, and then like have them leave just like kind of sucks. So like it it kind of like just built me into the person I am today.
Cool.
You know, but it's a hard pill to swallow at times, for sure.
100%. It's something, unfortunately, that you do get used to.
Yeah.
It really depends what type of work that you do.
Yeah,
I feel
for sure.
like
100%.
me and Matt are in a place where there's not as much turnover as far as staff, so we tend to be around the same people a lot. But in other places of work that's more seasonal, like you're making these incredible friends and they're leaving. But the silver lining is that you have friends all over the world.
Yeah,
you want to go on
first couple
vacation.
years
exactly.
too is like just getting used to that. Like I remember even my first year here, you make some really good homies, staying in the hostel or living in Staffacom, and then
it's heartbreaking, man.
It's like I have no idea if I'll ever see you again, but if I do, man, it's like you can just kind of go right back to where you left off, right? It's pretty sick.
And you make those friends that like you don't see for years, and you meet up for maybe on their home turf, and it's like you never missed a beat.
Or somewhere you would never expect to ever see them.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Let's get back to Hangtime a little bit. When did you realize that this is something that could be sustainable as like a business?
Oh, that's another good story.
Yeah.
So my first ever Hangtime back in like late 2022, I got a gig, like a venue in Inglewood at this little microbrewery.
Cool.
Okay.
Very, very small spot, Highline Brewery. Shout out to those guys as well.
Oh, sick, yeah.
And they just were not expecting what was about to happen. Neither did I, realistically. Like I went way overboard with the advertising. Went to every university, put in like a handbill into every locker, and then
that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
man.
and it was like a 4-hour event, and they sold out of their food menu in the first hour and a half, basically.
Jeez.
And we were at max capacity in under 20 minutes.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just way too overwhelming to do it there ever again for everybody. Like it was insane. So like we tried a few times, but realistically, we just needed a bigger space, and luckily enough, that happened, and we kept on going. So
because like fashion tends to go in cycles.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like the younger generation now,
it's like the stock market,
dude.
It's exactly like the stock
'cause these days,
100%.
like, if I would have saved all my big jeans from
Junko
like back
jeans,
in the
bro.
day,
Oh, dude.
oh man,
you
like
have a fat stack. In your
I
pocket,
remember
man.
in high school, like,
Do you guys have
yeah.
a bunch of those?
I don't now, but back in the day, it was like,
Nice.
oh yeah, if it was raining out, and by the time you got to school, your pants were just soaked halfway up to your knee. Like, what did I have? I had a pair that was like 28-inch waist with like a 36-inch leg opening. Like if I would have had those now, dude, I could just sell those for like $200.
That's crazy.
Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy, man. You could bring those to a shop in Calgary, and they would give you $200 because they know that they could just make more, and they wouldn't even ask you a question about it.
Why do you think that is? That fashion is so cyclical like that?
Because everyone.
I think they look back for inspiration.
It's a full circle.
Yeah.
It's a full circle. Like with everything. When I first started, it was vintage Nike. Everyone was crazy about the vintage Nike, the center swoosh hoodies, all that. And then right now it's still kind of Carhartt, like the Carhartt jackets.
Arc'teryx, Patagonias.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like those more gorpy brands will always be in style, especially in a place like the Valley, I find. But when it comes to like those, like Arc definitely blew up in like the past few years for sure. But
I think UK hip hop had a huge thing to do with
100%.
that. You see like DJs
like the
DJing
streetwear.
in their Arc'teryx, like
exactly.
zipped up the whole way.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but the Carhartt, like the canvas jackets, the double knees, like all of that type of stuff is really popping off right now for resellers. So like if you're a reseller, like that's kind of what you're going to be looking for. And like how you guys talked about the Janko jeans.
Yeah.
They're so rare to find. When it comes to something like double knees, when I go out thrifting, I'll find like 1 to 3 pairs every week.
Crazy.
But when it comes to Jankos, I've been thrifting like heavily since like 2017. I've only ever found 2 pairs at the thrift.
Well, it's
and
like
they were like
crazy.
right beside each other.
Well, those things like the cuffs on those just ultimately just get destroyed.
Yeah, but these ones were pretty pretty good
Nice.
condition, and I put them up at a market, and I'm pretty sure I sold them for like $80 each.
Wow.
Like
yeah.
something
just
stupid
just
cheap.
wildly low.
Yeah, and then the guy looked at me. He was like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy these. Like, he didn't even try them on. I was like, this is a really, really good deal. Like, I'd say 2 years before the hype.
Oh, okay.
And now,
Kicking yourself now. You're like,
well, man, it's so hard in this industry.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't predict trends, especially
no,
like,
exactly.
what's going to come back.
You can, it's a tricky situation because like you could be a hoarder as a reseller and just collect everything that you think could resell.
Right.
And then you could have multiple
But then you're sitting on
storage lockers.
inventory. Like,
No, exactly. But then it's very easy for you to do, appointments with other resellers to do wholesale and like if resellers are watching this, they know exactly who the type of people I'm talking about because these are the type of people who we work with every day,
No doubt.
and they make so much money from it. Like I know people who are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on storage lockers.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like they are doing it because they're making money.
For sure.
And at the end of the
fair
day,
enough.
they're also supplying so many people with quality stuff. So it's just a great circle. Like everyone wins. So like that's why it's so important to keep that community close because when you're in something like this, you can't do it alone.
yeah.
Like you really can't.
Is there any like you can with the rise in popularity, you would assume there would be some maybe aggressive resellers or like is there people that
for
like
sure.
you don't want to do business with? Like I'm sure like there's
yeah,
nice people
there's-
and there's people that are kind
Yeah.
of more
Oh
dicks
yeah,
about
there's
it, right?
drama. There's always going to be
Yeah.
drama. Like where people are going to be making money and people are going to be wanting to promote their stuff. There's always going to be drama.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you could simply educate someone on how to properly react if you don't like how someone talks to you.
Yeah.
So
What's your
it's-
philosophy on that?
I don't know. I've experienced many situations where people react in a way where they expect you to even lash out towards them. And it's like, you can't be doing that in this type of community because like, first of all, the word travels very fast.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone who is in a position to be helping people out or, like holding these events or like no one's going to want to be working with someone who, is just
Has
a
a
pain in
tarnished
the ass.
name or
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
fair.
fair
Yeah.
enough.
So
what does a typical day look like for you for when you're preparing for an event or like
it can
let's
be
do, like-
stressful.
let's do it yeah let's do leading up to an event and then I kind of want to know what your day a normal day for you like going for a pick is like or going to look for
Oh
for
yeah,
products.
for sure. So like a regular day managing and setting up hang time, the stress level can always, change. Most importantly, it always depends on the venue because
Yeah, fair.
sometimes I work with venues I haven't worked with before, or sometimes the roads might be in terrible condition from Calgary to Banff, and majority of my vendors are from Calgary,
Right.
and they're not in reliable vehicles.
Yeah.
So then you kind of have to brainstorm on how you're gonna use the space because 40% of your vendors aren't showing up.
Fair.
Right.
So you always gotta be one step ahead when it comes to the day of, and just like just know that regardless on if people are showing up or not, people are there to make money, and the people that are showing up, that's your main priority. So like my main focus is to just really focus on the people who are there, and then when they're there, I just let them do what they want to do, and if they ever do anything that I think should be different, not even because I don't like it, just because I want them to make more money.
Yeah, fair.
And I've
Yeah.
seen it so many times, right? I'll just tell them like, maybe you should move your rack this way. Maybe you should do this with this table.
Interesting.
And majority of the time, they're like, that's a great idea. Sometimes they're like, no. Sometimes I'm like, sounds good.
Yeah, like
Majority of the time, like I don't think I would ever tell anyone you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I'd give them options.
I think it comes from a place of trying to help rather than
Exactly,
try to
exactly, and
dictate.
they'll always know that. Like
For sure.
yeah, no one will be standing their guard for sure. But yeah, when it comes to a day picking, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, how does that look? Like you mentioned during COVID, standing in line, which is already dedication enough. Because I've seen before, like people on the internet opening huge packs of clothing that have maybe been like misshipped overseas, or I don't know what. How does this whole ecosystem work?
There's a bunch of different ways to do it. There's auctions. You can go to like auctions at the airport.
What?
Yeah, for like
What,
some,
just like
yeah.
lost and found and just
like
lost baggage
I
and
know
unclaimed baggage.
I know a homie who got like probably 500 pairs of sunglasses from the Calgary airport from auction.
What?
Yeah,
Crazy.
like
People
all
just leaving
quality.
shades around, just get up and leave.
from
and-
like it was basically just like the one bin at the Calgary airport that they've been hoarding all these lost sunglasses since like the early 2000s.
Wow.
And I don't know how much he got it for, but he must have got it for pretty cheap.
And now
Shout
the
out to Big E if you're listening.
big shout out. And the old sunglasses too, man. I see kids wearing the freaking
Oh yeah, I got a nice
the
pair of mech
bug-looking
ones. Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
dude, the old Oakleys,
the eye jacket Oakleys. and
Yeah,
then-
oh,
oh yeah, all those.
the Missy Elliott ones that wrap over the head.
Yeah.
This is like an iconic early 2000s look for
Well,
sure.
with so many vintage markets popping off, like, and kind of having events now, what sets your events apart, would you say?
Well, definitely the Bow Valley.
Right.
The community out here is just very hard to beat.
Yeah.
From my experience, it's just been the best. So, like it's a group of people that I connect with to the point where I just want to do all I can to give what I know to this group, because I think my community, when it comes to hang time, is so special, and also the community out in the Bow Valley. So just like bringing them together is something that I'm extremely passionate about.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think you hit a really cool missing piece of the Bow Valley ecosystem when it comes to fashion, because we have limited options when it comes to clothes.
Oh, big time.
And a lot of it is mass produced, right? It's not super unique, or it's super high-end designer stuff, which, let's be honest, the regular population is not going to Canada Goose and buying it out of the box.
No, exactly.
So I think, you hit that really cool niche by bringing the style into Banff to where maybe people can't access it by going to the city.
It's simple as like saying secondhand goes a long way.
For sure.
Like we can bring you in to Rosencrown, set you down, put a in your hand. We can put you in a jacket that is a fraction of the price of a place where you can go buy it down the street. And you're doing all this with a in your hand.
Yeah.
And you're
saving
doing it,
all that money.
and you're saving the environment too,
Exactly.
right? Like by reusing pieces that are still.
And that's the thing that people don't realize too. Like that's the highest perk of it all, but it's something that you overlook just because everything around you is just almost too good to be true.
for sure.
So
Let's talk about that a little bit. So fast fashion, right? We all know what's that, whatever, these online retailers that you can buy like, 12 pieces for $100. And then like we've all
S
seen
word.
it. What's that?
The S
Yeah,
word.
the S word. I'm gonna bleep it out for sure. But yeah, like we've all seen it before, like a mountain of boxes at the door. You buy it in the pretense of like, I'm going to try it on. If I don't like it, I'll send it back. But let's be real. It's not the easiest process to send stuff back to these companies. The business model is made so that you don't send it back, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the person to talk about it because realistically, I don't even know anyone I think who buys from those websites.
Yeah.
And it's simply because the people that I bring around, I will always be trying my best to put them in whatever piece they ask me to find them, you know? So if someone at work is asking me for a vest or, a pair of sunglasses or something, the next day I will try my best to get it for them. And if anything, charge them $5-10. Just simply because it's better for the environment, and I'd rather you put $5 in my pocket instead of the S word's pocket.
Well, dude, the young generation is really, I feel it's a point for the young generation to clothe themselves in something sustainable, right?
Yeah,
Which
and
I think as the pendulum went more towards ease of use,
Yeah.
the environment takes a hit. And I
Yeah.
think that's very rapidly swinging back the other way.
That's why it is very important and also very good that social media is taking such a strong grasp on everything when it comes to secondhand fashion, because it truly is trending when it comes to the younger generation.
For sure.
So when it comes to, you know, like your little cousin asking his mom for a pair of Janko jeans for Christmas, like that's pretty sick.
Yeah, like,
you know, like
that
other than
brings
a
me back to
$1,000 ARC
1999.
shell.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, I had some younger family come and visit. That's all they wanted to do was go check out thrift stores in different places to go hunt for older clothing and like certain themes specifically.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
it's really cool. I've got to experience like a lot of my close friends growing up doing this for so long, seeing their brothers and sisters growing up from a younger age, coming to me looking for these things. And it is pretty cool because looking at them back then, I would have never thought that they would be so into secondhand sustainable fashion.
for sure.
So it's pretty interesting to see it take such a big turn, for sure.
I think that's kind of the way to be anti-corporate these days in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's really being focused on where your money goes in the end, right?
100%.
What do you think the biggest, what's the one thing that people misunderstand the most about vintage clothing or sustainable fashion the way you're doing it?
Definitely just the time it takes. People don't understand. Just to get back on the topic of like, you know, like finding stuff in the thrift or like at the bins and stuff like that. People don't really understand. Like the buyers don't get how long these resellers are going to be waiting in line at the bins just to find that $5 item.
Right.
You know, like these guys and girls are waiting online at the Goodwill bins, waiting for rotations of clothing to come out. And, you know, like they're taking everything, washing everything, and people don't really understand how long of a process that is.
No doubt.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, lots of money goes into it, you know. If you try and make it your full-time job, you'll probably go through 3 or 4 washing machines.
How common is it to get pieces that aren't in sellable?
Yeah, like that's where you gotta, it's like very pick and choose, right?
Yeah.
And with time and experience,
You kind of know what's worth it.
it'll tend to fade away, and the stuff you donate won't be going to a Goodwill because someone will be wanting it, because it still is like have some sort of value. But starting out, like if you're starting out reselling and you have a bunch of inventory that isn't moving, that is everybody.
Yeah.
Like simply, that is everyone. Like if you go to the thrift stores enough, you will see vintage shops and their price tags on these clothes that they have donated because simply they can't sell them either.
Yeah,
And that's just the way it is. So
I've recently seen a post actually on Community Connection about a local thrift store and the pricing in there.
Oh, it's crazy.
Being outrageous that these are
that's
donated
a whole other
items.
question.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Like,
yeah, it's getting
because
to
obviously you're almost like you're working with thrift stores, but also kind of competing with them in a sense, right?
for sure. Like it's frustrating because a lot of resellers would be able to fill a cart when it comes to the inventory in these thrift shops, but the prices are just so high that you don't even bother picking up 80% of the things you find because the prices are just not how they used to be when COVID was in effect.
Do you think it's because they've caught wind of the value
for
of these
sure.
products, right?
For
And
sure,
it's like, they're donated. That's like,
but that goes with anything that makes anyone money, right? Like it doesn't matter if you're going to be like a massive corporation or some small guy just trying to catch a few dollars. Like someone is always going to try and take some sort of advantage,
for sure.
you know, or get their foot in the door some way. For example, when Nike was super popular, vintage Nike, it was really rare to find the center swoosh Nike hoodies.
Oh, okay.
The ones that just had the swoosh in the middle.
Right in the
And that was like 2019 to 2023. That was like the peak for Nike. And there was like a rare green hoodie would be selling for like 2,000 American.
Wild.
It was insane.
That's wild.
It like
dude.
completely just skyrocketed. Like it was unreal. And if you're a reseller back in those days, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so basically Nike caught wind of this, and then they started doing the exact design. Redoing the exact thing. And then right after that, and everyone knew it was going to happen. There's a huge article about Nike just brought back the center swoosh. And obviously, as soon as that article launched, everything just
Price tanks, yeah.
just dropped.
Wow.
And like so many collections just went, just down. But it's like that's where it comes into play, where you just got to be passionate for what it is you collect,
Because that's a weird concept of like the brand almost devaluing their prior work. It's weird.
Well, they're just trying to
Get what's on. Like they're trying to sell what's hot.
They're not getting any of that money though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
So they need some of it. And
interesting concept.
And honest to God, they got it. Like they fully just took it over, and it fully became a trend too. Like everyone was wearing those hoodies, and it was insane. It was so crazy to me.
How big of a factor is geography in all this? Because like I remember like Champs, like you see, like say Korea or China, Champs is huge, and then here you kind of buy it in the Walmart, but for them it's like this super elevated brand, kind of like Pabst Blue Ribbon in Australia is like this super hipster like cultural thing. We're here, like we're in America. It's it's seen very differently.
Scenes are so different everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing I like about the Bow Valley is that it's my scene.
Cool. It's what you like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was very easy for me to adapt here because I'm a very easygoing person. Like I really don't like to force things. So it was nice to be able to do the two things that I love and not feel rushed in any way.
I think it's cool because it kind of takes that sales pressure off of that. Like say you're doing a vintage market that isn't focused around people just hanging out. Do you feel like that sales pressure is a little bit more there versus your market is more of like it's a chill space? Like you even said, don't be forced to come by. Like just come hang out.
That's my main goal is to make sure every environment that Hangtime creates is something that you don't feel obligated to buy something.
Yeah.
It's right in the name, man. Hangtime.
Exactly. Exactly. That was the point of it. So, and then just moved to the Bow Valley. It even just worked out even better.
Yeah. Hit the hell yeah. It's Hangtime. Let's go.
So yeah, it was very easy to adapt to what I have going on in the Valley. And it kind of took away from my time in Calgary. So, luckily enough, we actually got something going April 11th at a pin bar with Harlow, a good friend of mine. We've been working together for like over 3 years before I moved here. So it's going to be a little bar on 17th. We got like 60 pinball machines in there.
Oh, sick.
So it's a great vibe.
That'd
And
be sweet.
just once again, great people to work with. So if you're in Calgary, April 11th, the time will be on Hangtime Flea's Instagram. So
Yeah, make sure you go give them a follow. Hangtime Flea, we've been posting it all week. Since you've started this journey with Hangtime Flea in the Bow Valley, what skills do you think you've learned along the way that you didn't have before?
definitely just adapting. Adapting is one thing I had trouble with, I would say, before moving here. Mm-hmm. And then, just being put in crazy situations. Even working summertime trail crew for the past 3 years, like that was some good stuff. Like that was some gnarly stuff.
What do you do trail crew in the summertime?
So basically it's the exact same thing, just hiking instead of skiing.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
So like you just walk up and down the mountain,
Trail
pound
signage.
steel. No, it's like you build fences still.
Okay, cool.
So like we'll be making the steel lines for the fences when the winter comes. So when fall comes, we'll be putting in all the steel in the ground before the ground freezes.
Fair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a pretty big job. Like,
I didn't know it went that
yeah, dude.
like that far before the season started.
Oh yeah, it just doesn't stop.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Did living in Banff, you think, help or hinder your development of Hangtime and to what it is today?
Oh, it definitely helped. It definitely helped in a lot of ways, and it definitely, hindered in more ways than I would like. But it's something that you got to keep rolling with, and I'm very happy I did because everything turned out for the best. I missed out on some opportunities in the city, but like at the end of the day, I'm happy
Yeah, fair.
about it.
Nice.
Because like the things that I got to experience being here and doing what I was doing all day, every day, like it was unreal,
Nice.
you know? So that's something that I'll never, ever live down and be upset about. So, yeah.
What's the hardest part about being a vendor specifically that maybe a shopper doesn't know about? We already mentioned a couple things. Obviously, the time that it takes. What do you think?
There's a lot for sure. You know, a lot of people tend to be really nervous their first time, which is so fair, you know, but it's just a great opportunity to connect for the first time with people that you might have never met before, you know, that's trying to do the same thing as you. It might not be the exact same style, but it doesn't matter. You're in the same spot right then and there. Like you obviously have some things you can connect on.
Do you think people are nervous more in like that making the sale? type
Exactly. I
environment?
think
Yeah.
people are too worried about making money, and realistically, they need to be worried about making those connections.
For sure.
Because
having fun.
yeah, like with those connections, everything's going to come naturally. You know, like if you are nervous that something isn't going to sell, but you're passionate for it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, like you just got to go ahead and do it. Like I've had so many vendors who doubted themselves right from the beginning. And I told them like, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Like you're going to do a good job.
Yeah.
And they just
self-doubt.
Fully self-doubt.
Yeah.
And it ends up with them hugging me, tears in their eyes, you know, like a couple $1,000s in their bank account, and they're just lost for words,
Fair.
you know?
Yeah.
And that is like mainly, like that is like 100% why I do it.
Amazing.
Like
Very sick.
seeing that honestly is like, there's no other better feeling than that.
That's dope.
Like
man.
watching like a sale means so much to someone. To me, that is just can't get any better.
What does success mean to you?
Looking around a room and just seeing a bunch of people wearing clothes I found out of a
They were
thrift shop.
just stoked to wear it.
Yeah, like not gonna lie, like we'll be sitting in morning meeting in Mountain Ops. Everyone's like just chilling, and I just got a big grin on my face because everyone's rocking a pair of shades I sold them the day before, or like, you know, like that to me is that's why I started way back in the day, and that's still why I do it. You know,
Awesome.
yeah.
If you could go back in time, like before you started Hangtime, give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, start earlier.
Start earlier.
Start
What I say
earlier.
about the pod too. Like, what's
Yeah.
the advice? Like, I wish I would have started 5
man.
years before. You know.
If I started selling clothes back when I was living with mom, who knows?
You would have had a way better start.
Who
on,
knows?
You know, apartment.
No,
all that, yeah.
exactly. Yeah. There was one other thing too that was a really great part of COVID and all of this starting was one thing that I feel like a lot of my close friends in the reseller industry like would be mad at me if I didn't bring up, but it was the time during COVID when we did Instagram Lives.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
Dude, that was crazy.
oh man, we did Instagram Live. So there would be 4 of us in one live. So like this was after the update where you could have 4 people in a live, and we would basically auction off clothes.
Oh, crazy.
So we would just sit there exactly like this, and I would sit there with my iPad watching the comments.
Yeah.
And so we would say, all right, guys, let's have bidding starting at $50. And there'll be like 100 people or like 50 to 100 people watching us.
Wild.
And
That's cool.
and we'll be like, okay, we'll start bidding at $50. And these are people like all over the world,
Right.
Sick.
like willing to ship. Like we have a pinned comment that has shipping like throughout, like worldwide shipping costs, all that.
Tell you the details.
So then bidding goes up. Let's say it goes up to $150, $10 increments. So then we have to wait 20 seconds for the leg to catch up with everyone. So
Right.
then
Oh,
after,
yeah, right.
after
Yeah.
after the 20 seconds, then we count down from 10. So $150, count down from 10. Then the comment says $150, whoever it is. All right, congratulations. Now let us know what you want. in your bundle, or if you just want one piece. So
cool.
then he puts in the comments, all right, I want only one item and I want it to be a Looney Tunes Grail. So then everyone in their collection, mind you, we all have a huge collection because so many people are only thrifting all day, every day. So these poor resellers are just have everything you can imagine.
Crazy.
Yeah. So then everyone's like, hey, just give us a quick sec. I'll pull out like a sweet Bugs Bunny t-shirt, $150. Like at the time, Looney Tunes was a lot more expensive.
Okay.
So like you could get away with that, like a Space Jam t-shirt right before the second Space Jam movie came out.
Nice.
It would have been like through the roof. So I would have did that, boom, sold, e-transfer, move on to the next guy.
Crazy.
And it would just be
Did you have
that.
success doing that? Like that
Dude,
sounds awesome.
Man, we were making more than what we would at our events.
That's
Like
Well,
it
just because
was
like the audience is a little more broad, right? Like
man.
worldwide
Yeah.
instead of just whoever's in the room.
We
That's
had
cool.
a graphic designer that like did our thing, and we made it look like it was a cover of a Nintendo 64 game.
Oh, sick.
That was our thing.
Dope.
It was the coolest, it was the coolest day and age, man. Like every Friday night we would go and we would let our viewers pick out what we were
amazing.
and then
awesome.
we'd go home and we would all just post up and we would all be in different parts of Alberta.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
That's awesome.
Sick.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so let's say someone leaves a Hangtime event, what feeling do you hope they walk away with after the event?
Oh, I just wanted to come back.
Cool.
Like simple as that. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if they leave and they simply are just asking their friend, what's the Instagram or when's the next one? Like that's really all I want to hear, you know?
Job well done.
Yeah, exactly. So simply just wanting to be a part of it. Yeah.
Cool.
Speaking of being a part of it, if someone out there is listening that's interested in becoming a vendor, a seller, or just wanting to come and hang out at an event, have a good time, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, I'm actually we just got some new dates with Rose and Crown for the upcoming spring. So I'm actually going to be putting that into a new form you guys will be able to fill out with an application on it. So it'll all be on Hangtime's Instagram and in the bio.
Dope.
Yeah.
So make sure you go follow Hangtime Flea
Yeah.
on Instagram. There's a couple underscores there too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be posting it all over. Last question here before we move on to our new segment. What's one piece of your collection that you would never sell?
Ooh.
I do have a lot of pieces. I also have a lot of pieces I wish I've never sold.
Yeah, fair.
Oh, yeah.
But the one that's sitting in my house right now that I know I'll probably never sell is my 2000s tour Britney Spears.
Oh, cool. Classic.
Like the full babyface Britney OG. Like
All the tour dates on the
yeah,
back. Yeah,
exactly.
that's crazy.
Yeah, like the one that you always see people wearing, that's the rep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have like the OG of that one.
That's
Sick.
sick.
Yeah, I got that one from
That's
my
a good
cousin.
one.
I'm pretty sure I traded him like a BCA radio for it.
Wow.
Back in the day. Yeah, he knows he took the loss on that one though.
That is that's a gem for sure.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, it's time to move on to our new segment brought to you by Defending Awesome. Speaking of merch, they make our merch. It is dope. You should go get some on our website, overheardpodbanff.com, if you like it. If not, whatever.
They also do our graphic designs.
Hell yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, they do all of our printing. So if you ever need any posters or anything like that from Defending Awesome, like
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do tons of stuff. I got a little blurb we're going to read in a bit. But you didn't hear it from us is actually, we're going to leave it to Jaden because he's got some events coming up. We already mentioned April 11th in Calgary.
yeah, and March 23rd. So that one's going to be
Bam.
Canmore Brewing, 5 to 8. Make sure you're there nice and early. It's going to be lots of stuff, not just vintage clothing. So don't think it's just clothing. There's going to be lots of art, lots of handmade jewelry. My friend Deb might be even coming with some of her homemade cookies. We'll see. Still in the works. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's going to be a good time. Just grab it, come up for the vibes.
Go for a hang.
Exactly.
No doubt.
Remember, you didn't hear it from us. So if you've been seeing our Overheard merch floating around town, we got hats, we got toques. Matt's got the white one, I got the black one.
Yeah.
Toques are available as well. $40 local delivery. I'll come drop it off to you personally with a nice firm handshake. But back to Defending Awesome. They do more than just merch. They're a full service print shop and a design shop. So like I said, they did some design for yourself.
Yeah, they've been helping me out for years now.
So whether you're a local business, event organizer, a band, or just someone who has a cool idea, my buddy Ryan goes and gets these stickers made. I actually saw him last time I was there. He gets these stickers that says "I love Ryan," and it's like him and they've showed up in like Mexico and all over the world. If you have any cool ideas, like Return to Dalton, I think would be a cool idea if he got a sticker made, right? Just soft launch on that. Apparel, branding, print, creative work, the whole deal. Go down to Defending Awesome. And they're a good hang, too. Like, every time I'm walking past,
they're all good
say
people.
hi.
Good people.
So make sure you stop in and give them a shout out. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, making the effort.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely get out to the next Hangtime Thrift, whether it's Calgary, whether it's Banff or Bow Valley. Give them a follow at Hangtime. What is it again exactly? At Hangtime?
Hangtime Flea, just the underscores are there, but if you just type in Hangtime Flea, you'll see it right away.
Absolutely. And the logo is like a little bunny, right?
Little bunny.
Keep
Bugs
an eye
Bunny.
out for that. Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to our sponsors, Drink Shaft, Defending Awesome. Big thanks to Brew Pub for having us today, with a special shout out to Rose and Crown, just because they're down with everybody.
And Canmore Brewing as well.
Canmore Brewing.
Yeah.
Be there March 23rd.
Yep.
Yes, nailed it. Right on. Well, that's all the time we got. If it's your first time joining us, don't be one of the 83% that don't smash the like and subscribe. Please hit that up. Hit the little bell. We drop new episodes every week. If you like what we did here today, we got plenty more in the works. That's all the time we got for today.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah.
This has been a great chat.
Thank you.
Like every week. See you next Tuesday. Peace.